I think I'm sure Walter will have a view in terms of the unemployment that is, a problem in Africa as a whole. Not necessarily just Zimbabwe, but other countries. We know that a lot of people are unemployed. Walter, do you?
If we touch on unemployment, even if you look at Zimbabwe or the SADC region today, we have people, for instance, in South Africa who are living in shanty towns, an entire suburb being a shanty town made out of zinc and plastic. Surely in this day and age, in a country like South Africa that is rated as a first world country, post-independence, we should not be having a situation where you have 90% unemployment, but out of that 90%, we cannot actually get people into employment in terms of building their own houses. For instance, if we took the 90% of unemployed people from the shanty towns and provided them with work to build bricks, what does it take to build a brick? Just clay and water. And you mold your bricks, you're now creating jobs for people who are going to mold bricks. So this is an organizational issue. It has nothing to do with unemployment, because I think that if the government is held to task, or if people are held to task in terms of organizing themselves and coming up with companies that are able to employ themselves to build their own houses, once they build houses, you've created employment for builders. That's an industry in itself. Once those houses are built, you'll need plumbers. That's an industry in itself. You'll need people who are going to construct the roads. You're going to need people who are going to deal with the sewage. You're going to need people who are going to build furniture for those houses, stoves for those houses. You're going to need carpenters, joiners. So all these industries can be developed. So to me, I believe that Africans today have failed to organize themselves in a way that is sustainable enough to develop themselves. We always look outside of ourselves to find investment. Somehow, there's meant to be a foreign investor from England or a foreign investor from America or somewhere to bring in money for people to organize themselves or to be organized by foreigners. So we are saying, why can't people start organizing themselves and working for themselves and becoming productive for themselves and thereby creating employment for themselves? So I believe it's not an issue of unemployment, but it's an issue of people failing to organize themselves to make themselves useful. Because if you look at the word employment itself, it means being. So we'd rather be employed, be used by other people, instead of us creating jobs for ourselves and being able to become productive beings on our own. So I think we need that paradigm shift of where we stop looking outside of ourselves, like Ndibala was saying earlier, have an introspective approach to say, how can we bring productivity out of ourselves and creativity out of ourselves? We need to move away from the mentality of being servile to other communities, where we think we have to work for another community or for another person for us to become productive, rather than us actually starting to work for ourselves and becoming entrepreneurs and creating jobs for our own communities and for ourselves. So in terms of unemployment, my main focus would be on organization. We need to learn to be organized. And that way we can take a big leap forward in becoming productive and starting to get ourselves out of so-called poverty. Because poverty, again, is a state of mind. It's a consciousness. So we need to move away from that state of thinking where we think we are helpless and start being helpful to our communities and ourselves. So in terms of unemployment, I think we need to start organizing ourselves more pragmatically.